So undoubtedly, as the journey of a concealed carry holder and somebody who does a lot of training, you will find yourself eventually winding up in a vehicle class. And you're gonna wind yourself up in a number of different vehicle classes, trust me. Over the course of 10 years, I've probably taken about 7, maybe 8, I've lost count, of vehicle classes. I try to take about 1 a year, and you're gonna find different elements to each classes. You're gonna have the instructors that allow you to have the shooting experience in and around vehicles. They'll talk about it, but they won't really show you really what happens when bullets hits vehicles. And then there are those brave souls out there that will demo different things, different calibers, different ballistics or different bullets against the vehicle's different points of it, through the windshield, through the side doors, through the A pillar, B pillar, C pillar, D pillar, all those different types of things. And so I want to share with you kind of some experiences that I've had. I want to set this up as kind of like an experiment, not an end-all be-all thing, but just to allow people to see kind of what the phenomena that happens when bullets impact newer vehicles. So I want to remind you that I'm not an expert in these things whatsoever. I'm a preacher who went to Bible college, right? But I still think that there's validity in actually just getting together some cars, shooting them up, so on and so forth. So I've got a 2010-ish Chevy Impala that's fairly new, and we're gonna focus on the A pillar today. So I've got a lot of different classes, but probably the most notable experience I ever had was William Petty's Vehicle QB class, hosted by 88 Tactical. William Petty, solid dude, and knows a lot about this stuff because he's shot a lot of vehicles, and he's ruffled some feathers in the law enforcement shooting communities because of just his approach to building tactics around the ballistics that we find from vehicles. So a lot of the things that you're seeing, the tests that we're going to be doing, come straight from his class. It was a wonderful teaching moment, not only for me to receive, but also to see other people and the officers that were part of the class just have their minds blown with what happened when bullets hit vehicles. So I'm not going to really be talking about really anything else other than letting you see what happens. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so I have a rubber dummy behind here, but essentially what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to put 2 or 3 shots right in this area right here. We're going to go one at a time and see if we can't penetrate through this weather stripping area right in this stuff right here and hit the dummy. So as you see, here's the impact. As you noticed, there's not a lot going through. It came in contact with this, it came in contact with this, but then it looks like the bullet, got lodged right here and didn't go outside of the weather stripping, which is very interesting. The weather stripping is a serious thing, but we got kind of part of the vehicle body, so see if we can't close it up. So I try to shoot one along the side, one right there. This is just the weather stripping, by the way. And you're finding the bullets come up here. You've got this core jacket separation that's taking place. These are very hot. Ooh, hot. And what's happening is, you're not having stuff go through. You're just getting caught up in the weather stripping and going up this way. Fascinating. Because there's no holes in our dummy that we haven't put there already. We should paint that up. So right now, that's just through the weather stripping along the side of the vehicle. Let's try to get some through the actual pillar right here. There's our impact. And as you can see, there's no penetration. So here we go, we're inserting right here, but the bullet is meeting the rest of the car and it's not going through. So it's not punching through at all. Interesting. Now I'm gonna aim for that same hole. I'm gonna try to get through that same hole, see what happens. So essentially through the same hole, what happened? Notice how there's nothing going on. This is what's so important. There's no penetration of what's happening. I think it's real bad. There's no penetration. So even though I put it through the same hole, it just didn't do anything. So let me take some shots just in and around this general area right here on A pillar. I'm shooting a 115 grain, just full metal jacket. So that's the damage we did, right? There's no penetration that's going through there and hitting our bad guy, or our good guy, however you want to look at it. There's nothing going through, and so nothing's hitting them. So now we're gonna shoot it with a 2 3/4 slug, 1 ounce slug from this ever so sweet Beretta 1311 Tactical. And we're gonna put it right in this area, right there. Okay, so here we go. Put that on safe. See what's up here. So here's your massive entry wound. Entry. And I put a cardboard target up here, just so you can see a little bit more. And notice that here's the entry and there's no exit. Like there's nothing coming through this A pillar right now. It's hitting our target. So we're gonna close it up, do some double aught buck. All right, we're gonna do some double aught buck right here, check it out, and then we'll do some double aught buck right there. Here we go. Weapon safe. So here's the double aught buck. 2 3/4 inch double aught buck. Right there. And there's really nothing that's happening or going back through. All right, well, will another double aught buck round. Can we put it right there and have penetration, I wonder? Here we go. Open up that hole a little bit more. Weapon safe. You can see, open up that hole real good. The weather stripping's absorbed a lot of it, but notice how our target didn't. It definitely went through and just looked like it went through and through, but caught up in the weather stripping, and because of the weather stripping, it doesn't look like it deflected it or anything. So yeah, there's nothing there. Well, daggone Barrett, what will go through this A pillar? Well, we're gonna see if this just a 55 grain 223 fired out of a SIG MCX 10.5 inch will just go through this right here is where we're putting it. Okay, so here we go, height over bore. This is what you're gonna find. So here's our shot. Bloop. And some shrapnel you can see with an exit wound right there, probably. Yep. Let's get this going a little bit better. All right, iPhone, thank you. So it did go through your entire A pillar, and looks like it went through there. I don't know if it went any further. Not seeing anything really, but that would require more investigation. Ah, there's the bullet. Yeah, I know it's the bullet because it's hot, very hot. Well, there you go. All right, so I know that a 223 will go through there, no doubt, right? And if I want to litter this all up with 223, I could most certainly do that. This right here is a 7.62 by 39, fired from a 14.5 inch barrel. We're gonna shoot right here, and I'm gonna angle myself in such a way to where I can get hits on that target right there. Ooh, yeah, smoky. So here's the entrance. There's no exit. No, there's no exit. There's no additional marks. We had those 3. There's nothing through it. Okay, let's shoot it some more. Weapon, here we go. Let's see what that there did. We got, here's our first one, second, third, fourth, right there. Okay, we're getting some penetration now. Heck yeah. So, probably should have done this one at a time, but we got one right here, one right here. It looks like we got a couple right in that area, loosened up from others. But you see what happens. These bullets just hit where they're originally intended, and they just kind of diverge slightly, ever so slightly. But we have some additional wounds, and it's going straight through the back here. It looks like, to the back at least. Here, 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 here. Remember our 3 that we had up there to begin with. So, shooting enough AK rounds, you're gonna get punched through that A pillar. So this is all really interesting. We've shot with 9mm, 7.62, 223, slug, double aught buck, 12 gauge. And, you know, I've not seen a shot with like a 44 Magnum, but I've seen him shot with 40, I've seen him shot with 45. And essentially, the story is pretty much the same. That this A pillar offers a relative amount of cover or deteriorating cover for a particular amount of time. Now, I don't want you to so much think about this A pillar being able to protect you while you're in the vehicle. It most certainly can do that for a time, depending on the caliber, depending on the bullet, all those different types of things. But think about this in terms of not just what's happening when you're inside, but also when you're outside shooting at, or, you know, inside shooting out. Or if you're on the outside of the vehicle working different angles with an attacker that's on the other side of it, or, you know, taking fire from an attacker. If one pillar, and this is what Petty would say, right? William Petty. If one pillar does such a good job and like blows our mind, imagine what would happen if we stacked pillars, like the A pillar and the A pillar, or the A and the B, or the A and the C. Having that kind of in line with that center mass, that seems like a really good place to be, given the other situations that you may find yourself in of like basically window to window. That's gonna offer a lot less ballistic protection, or, you know, something along those lines. So, and the idea is, of course, shooting in around vehicles, find some other place of hard cover, because it's not gonna offer you very much for a while, or for a long period of time. It won't sustain you, but it will sustain you for a very short period of time in which, you know, you can do, you're mobile, you're doing a lot of work in that time, so on and so forth. So that's just the A pillar. We're gonna look at it, we're gonna look at the B pillar, we'll look at the doors, door to door, we'll look at the windshields, we'll look at the rear for the end, we'll look at B pillar, we'll see what it takes to get through those things. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you, because I think that's freaking cool.